guys. Let me just start the game. Anyway, I'm playing on keyboard and mouse, as you can see. I'm pretty advanced. Watch how advanced I am. Yeah, I'm really advanced. I mean, you've got to learn to line, really. Wait. Anyway, I hope that fooled you all. I was actually on keyboard and mouse then. No, I'm joking.
Do this, but I did it.
We are Pretty Little Thing. There's no dress code we don't cover. We represent the babes of all sizes with every body in PLT. So just
that was actually sick funny.
Wear whatever you want, however you want. We've got you.
Us from the set town on the pallet. Yeah, so right here, if you come, you can see on the wall there's just purple arrows, the electrical things on top. That's our way to get. What do you get with the power? Oh, you can't do that. This thing down here. You open this fence thing down here, and then we can get to the box. And you get the pack-a-punch stuff. I need speed information. It's 5,000 to a pack-a-punch. And then there's 3 tiers of pack-a-punch. So it's 5,000, 15,000, and 30,000. So
I don't think I have enough brains to do the Easter egg, really. If this is just a normal game,
I can barely work out how to get out to the mystery box, let alone. I do rate that from the
highly though like to not put in the Easter egg, like on release. Like usually it's like solved before the game's even out.
Subscribe to Techo on YouTube or you will forever be a bot at Fortnite.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So you guys really seem to enjoy my last video about the best keybinds for keyboard and mouse. And well, that was back 2 seasons ago, and as you might expect, times have changed and keybinds are much different now than they were even a few months ago. In this video, I'll talk about some common misconceptions about keybinds, some general tips for finding the best keybinds, and then finally I'll go over some sets of keybinds that I personally recommend you guys use. It's important to watch the whole video so you can really digest all the information, which you can set up by buying. I just feel so good. I just feel so good. Here goes another thumb button for trap. So with
keybinds is probably the most important part of getting good on keyboard and mouse. Today, I'm going to try and help you guys find keybinds that you'll be able to get used to. Alright guys, so a few things I want to quickly mention is that everybody is different. So you need to find keyboard settings that are going to be able to suit you. And well, hopefully this video does help out with that, and if it does, make sure you guys subscribe, like, turn on post notifications, and if this video gets 1,000 likes, I will bring out a week 3 progression video moving from controller to keyboard and mouse, and I will also make a video telling you guys why I switched to keyboard and mouse, and why you guys might want to as well. And also make sure to use my support creator code I'm free in the Fortnite item shop. Thank you for all the legends that are doing it, it really does help out. Alright guys, so let's just get into the actual video and helping you guys find keybinds that you can get good with. So a really important part of playing on keyboard and mouse is finding keybinds that are comfortable. You're going to want to find something that's quite close to your moving keys, which is obviously WASD, because the last thing you want to be doing is stretching all the way to the other side of your keyboard just to press a button. And also a quick little tip, if you are an elite gamer like myself, then you might have buttons on the side of your mouse that will help out, you know, switching to keyboard and mouse. If you do have buttons on the side of your mouse, try them out and try and take advantage of them, because they can be very useful and be easy for a beginner moving to keyboard and mouse. Alright guys, so let's get into the main things you want to focus on when
register because at the office we have to go through the office and register and the office must.
Obviously playing Fortnite, that is building, editing, interacting, and by interacting I mean things like opening doors, opening chests, ammo boxes, and also reviving teammates, and obviously pulling out your weapons. Now, these are the 4 things I would like to say are the main things. So if you are using WASD on your keyboard, you're going to want to try and put all of obviously your building and editing buttons over the left side of your keyboard as close to WASD as they can be, because at the end of the day, you're going to want to try and find comfortable keybinds. Now, as I said, everyone is different, and you may not even want to take that feedback into account. Maybe you just want to use keys from all over your keyboard. But most keyboard players commonly use keys on, obviously, the left side of their keyboard, or keys that are close to their moving keys. That is why I edit with E, interact with F, and bring my stairs out with Q. And yes, guys, we are going to be looking at my keybinds later on in the video. But before we do get into my keybinds, something I want to say is just because you're not getting good with your keybinds really quickly doesn't mean they're necessarily bad keybinds. I've only been 2 weeks on keyboard and mouse, and I'm still getting used to a lot of my keys on my keyboard. It takes time and practice. Say for example it's been maybe a week and your edit button is still not quite a good one and you're being very slow with your edits and you haven't made any improvement, then I would probably looking into switching your keybinds, because at the end of the day, everyone has different keybinds to everyone, if that makes sense. But let's just get into my keybinds, and comment down below if you have any questions about them, because I'll be replying to every comment like usual. So yeah, let's just get to the keybinds. Alright, so we're in a creative, as you guys can see, so I just want to go over and quickly say a few things. Obviously, I've only been on keyboard and mouse for about 2 weeks, so obviously I'm still getting used to these settings, and that's one of the reasons I'm making this video right now, is because I'm in the learning process of switching, so I can give you guys basically feedback of how I'm basically learning and how long it's taking me to get used to these keybinds. So I've stuck with these keybinds for the whole 2 weeks I've been playing on keyboard and mouse. I haven't switched them, and who knows, I probably could end up switching, but let's just jump straight in to basically what I use for everything. So, and pretty much before I show you all the keybinds, I just want to show you guys some stuff that might help you on your journey of switching and might actually help you get used to the stuff faster. So let's go ahead with editing. Why I have my editing button as E? Well, I know a lot of people have it as F, but I used to have it as F, and I found that pretty comfortable as well. But the reason I switched to E, because obviously right next to the W key, which is the forward key, is obviously the edit button. So when I'm moving forward, it's just so much easier to bring my index finger over to the E button and edit. So honestly, that's why I have my edit button as E. It's just a lot faster, and as you guys can see, I can still move around and edit really, really fast. So if you guys are struggling with editing and maybe you're not as fast as you want to be and you're still using F, maybe try out E. Maybe that might help out. Even though F is really close to WASD, E is just a little bit easier for a lot of people. So maybe if you haven't tried to use your edit button, you're still struggling with editing, try and give that a go. The next thing is my building, and now as you guys might have heard me say at the start of the video, I use my side buttons for my walls and my floor. Now the reason for this is because obviously if you have a mouse with this, take advantage of it. If you find it comfy, just go for it. Go and use the buttons on the side. They're there for a reason, and they're much, much easier in my opinion than using keys on the keyboard, because I don't know, as a beginner it's just a little bit more useful. And now you may have noticed my stair button is Q. Now at the end of the day, I'm trying to put every single thing that I'm going to be using a lot in games, for example building, as close as WASD as possible. Now Q is obviously really close to WASD, so when I'm building I can just really keep all my fingers together and just keep a nice, you know, a nice rhythm to it, you know what I'm saying? As I said at the start of the video, the last thing you want to be doing is making your edit button like J or something, so you have to stretch your fingers along the keyboard. You just want to have your fingers in a really relaxed and really comfy position. That's like the #1 tip. If you guys are playing on a keybind which you don't find comfortable even after a lot of practice, I would advise changing. Honestly, like that's the #1 thing you want to do. Make your keybinds as comfortable as possible. You don't want to be stretching your hand. You don't want to be putting too much effort in all of your hand movement. You just kind of want to keep it really compact and as easy as possible. Now, saying that, some of you guys may be different. Some of you guys may like stretching your fingers across your keyboard. I don't know. Everyone is different. Now, you guys may have actually seen my building key is C, or my pulling out my building key. As you guys can see, if I click C, it will switch between my building mode and obviously my pickaxe and stuff like that. So, the reason I have it on C is because obviously I can use my thumb, which is really, really close to everything. Again, I'm trying to go for the most comfy position for my fingers. And C is just really close for that. So say, for example, I'm building, I can just click C and then go back to my pickaxe. And now I have not changed any of my buttons to go for guns. So I press 2 for the SCAR, 3 for the shotgun, and then I can obviously, you know, press all these different numbers for my weapons. Now, yes, I do have to kind of stretch up to number 6 to pull it out, but at the end of the day, when I'm playing Fortnite, the way I work is I keep my AR in my first slot, my shotgun in my second slot, my sniper or a long distance weapon in my third slot, or maybe I'll put an SMG in the first one and an AR in the third one. It just really depends. So I'll keep my guns and important stuff in the first 3 slots, and I'll always leave my last 2 slots for things I'm not going to use like really often. For example, my meds. So when you're in a fight and you get shot, you don't just stand there and pull out a mini shield and pop it, because obviously they're going to shoot you. What you do is you build yourself in a box a lot of the time. This isn't all the time, but mostly you build yourself in a box and you'll go and pull out obviously your shield or your bandages or whatever, so you don't really need to be getting there as fast as possible. So I kind of just, you know, stretch my finger over and take my time with my meds. Now, I mean, I have gotten to the point now where I can quickly go and, you know, press number 6 because it is muscle memory, and I have been on keyboard and mouse for about, you know, 2 weeks now. So the reason I've done this is just purely down to practice, and that's how I've actually got used to my buttons the fastest. It's just all practice, guys. You're not going to be changing your buttons and becoming, you know, the next phase member or anything like that. It all is just a journey.
A missing detective. Detective Henry Parker went missing while investigating a tricky case. His friend, Detective Davis, discovered that one of their colleagues was behind this disappearance. Davis visited Parker's home, and his friend's wife gave him a note. "Henry asked me to give it to you if something happened to him. Please find my husband." On the note, there were just 4 letters, 2867. Davis started to question his colleagues. "I've been on vacation all week, don't you remember?" said Tess. Jack was worried. "I haven't seen Parker for a couple of days. Do you think something awful has happened to him?" And Nora replied, "I'm just a trainee. Detective Parker gave me a task, and I was busy doing it." Davis thought for a while, looked at the note again, and understood who was guilty. You have 7 seconds to do the same. It was Tess. 2867. The first letters of these numbers make up her name. The main suspect. One evening, Emma went to take out the trash from her coffee shop. She was about to leave when she spotted something dark in the corner behind the trash bins. It was a young woman, and she was unconscious. Emma rushed to her. The girl's bag and smartphone were lying nearby on the ground. The first person on the contacts list was named Big Sis. Emma called the number and heard a female voice. "I found your sister lying on the ground. It seems someone hit her on the head." "Oh my, how awful. I'll come immediately." Next, Emma called the police. The sister and the police officers arrived at the same time. "Arrest this woman. She's behind the attack." And Emma pointed at the sister. "Why did she say so?" She didn't tell the sister where to come. How did she know the address? A lost watch. Mia was a shop assistant on a giant cruise liner. Once she found a super expensive watch in the boutique she worked in and announced it on the radio. Soon, 4 people appeared. Each of them claimed it was their watch. Mia looked at all of them attentively and realized who the watch belonged to. Can you figure it out too? The man does have a watch tan line, but it's much bigger than the watch Mia found. The young girl already has a watch on her left hand. Why would she wear the second one? The elderly lady must be very absent-minded. Her dog is wearing her watch as a collar. So, the watch must belong to the teenager. Granny's riddles. Mark was starving after a long day at the university. His apartment was too far away, so he decided to drop by his granny's. He knew she always had something tasty to treat him to. Unfortunately, his granny had a quirk. First, a visitor had to crack her riddle, and then they got as much food as they could eat. This time wasn't any different. Granny gave Mark a slip of paper. There, it was written, "Little, little, late, late." Can you understand what it means? Too little, too late. A mysterious scientist. Joanna made a bet with her friends. She had to go to a deserted house in the middle of their town at night. No one lived there, and the house was supposed to be demolished soon. But rumor had it, a mad scientist used that building as his lab. It was about 3 a.m. when the girls saw a gloomy, large building. The door was slightly ajar. She entered and saw a huge, dark hallway. Suddenly, someone switched on the light, and Joanna saw a bizarre-looking man in a lab coat. He stood there and stared at her for a few seconds before saying, "Good morning, I'm Dr. Clark." "But you aren't real," Joanna exclaimed. How did the girl figure it out? Even though the scientist had a reflection in the mirror, he didn't cast a shadow. It was a hologram. An accident in a dance studio. Once, a dance studio owner found Dylan, one of the instructors, lying on the floor in one of the rooms. Someone had hit the man on the head. The owner called the police. They questioned the dance studio workers and visitors and found 3 suspects. Chloe, a regular, said she hadn't visited the studio for several days. She had several days off and spent them sunbathing on the beach. Ethan, another instructor, told the police his friend had called him and asked for help. That's why he had left the studio before Dylan came to work. Layla, Dylan's girlfriend, admitted they had quarreled earlier in the morning. But after that, she went to her best friend to talk about this situation. The police officers understood right away who was behind the attack. It was Chloe. She said she had spent several days on the beach, but her skin is extremely pale. Only one portal. Luke took part in a scientific experiment, but something went terribly wrong. He ended up in a place where there was nothing but 3 portals. One of them led to a polar desert in Antarctica. The second one opened into a volcanic crater filled with molten lava. And behind the portal, there was the dinosaur age with huge diplodocuses roaming around. Which portal should the man choose? Luke would freeze in no time in a polar desert. Molten lava isn't even an option. But diplodocuses are totally harmless to people. They only eat plants. A dangerous teacher. Marta was walking through the park near her home in the evening. It was dark and there was nobody around. Suddenly, her bag was grabbed from behind and the person bolted away. Marta took off after them. She was pretty sure this person was a woman, but she couldn't make out her appearance or clothes. The woman disappeared inside a school building. When Marta ran inside, she saw 3 teachers. The girl looked at them attentively and soon figured out which one had taken her bag. Can you do the same? The woman in the middle wouldn't be able to run away with a cast on her leg. The one on the right doesn't have anything in her hands. Where would she hide Marta's bag so quickly? But the woman on the left has a big shopper bag on her shoulder. A real teacher wouldn't need to carry it in the classroom. Missing paintings. Detective Henry Taylor was getting ready for work when he heard screams from his neighbor's house. He rushed there. The door was locked. The man had to kick it several times before he gave way. He found his neighbor, Miss Anderson, in the living room. She was tied to a chair. "Oh, I'm so happy you heard me shouting. An hour ago, a man knocked on my door and said he was an electrician. But as soon as I let him in, he tied me up and took all the priceless. Had to arrest the woman for staging the theft. How did he know?" When he tried to get into the house, the door was locked from the inside. Who could do it if Miss Anderson was tied up and the thief ran out of the house in a hurry? A car accident. Emily had been dreaming of having her own car for ages, and finally she got it. The girl was so happy that she immediately went for a drive. She was a careful driver and never broke any traffic rules. But suddenly, she heard a nasty screeching sound and was jolted forward. When she got over her shot, she saw a red Toyota disappearing into the distance. It was a hit and run. Emily was extremely upset. In an awful mood, she continued on her way. 10 minutes later, though, she saw the very same red Toyota parked near a cafe. Emily ran inside and saw 3 visitors. The girl didn't need long to figure out who the driver that had hit her car was. It was the man on the right. The 2 other visitors are already eating, but he's still looking through the menu. A stuck ball. Martin was playing with his new foot and his ball back. How did he do it? David used a water hose lying nearby. He filled the pipe with water and the ball floated up.
Seems a bit dead, doesn't it? I see, guys.